Breaking news, Ghana hosts 2025 African Land Forces Summit when we have so many top American military leaders alongside with Virginia Palmer, joint military leaders to strengthen regional security ties. We have so many of them in Ghana currently having an international meeting, and a lot of Ghanaians were like, they weren't having it. Some of them were actually happy that of course they chose Ghana for such crucial meeting. But then some of them were so concerned that's why Ghana, that they don't want any collaboration with the US Army. We want US Army to leave Ghana now. Ghana and US are not friends. Leave us alone. We're going to come to this because I want Ghanaians watching to tell me why most Ghanaians do not want US military in their country. I'm going to let you guys watch the videos, and of course, it's actually safe to say that US Army came to Ghana to learn from them. They want to know how Ghanaians were able to maintain that height, well, especially when it comes to the level of security in Ghana. Watch these videos.
It really is an honor to be here this afternoon. I'm moved by what General Batanu said about more than 50 countries represented here, military leaders and civilians alike, to talk about common security goals and threats and the cooperation that we can share to address them and make our countries stronger and more secure and more prosperous. It's particularly apt to do it in Ghana, I think, and you will already have received a warm welcome in Ghana. I swore in 20 Peace Corps volunteers on Friday, and they spoke then about Ghana's tolerance, religious tolerance and interethnic cooperation. And I think that has been a great sense or a great source of strength and stability for Ghana, along with the professionalization and professionalism of the Ghana Armed Forces and their subordination to civilian authority, which makes Ghana's democracy strong. The summit is an opportunity for us to discuss how we can optimize land forces for the emerging security environment that General Gainey mentioned. It's critical that we adapt and strengthen our armed forces to confront the evolving threats that seek to undermine and destabilize the region. And as General Gainey mentioned, they have no boundaries. The United States is proud of our partnerships across Africa in support of this endeavor. In Ghana, whether through multinational exercises such as African Lion, Flintlock, or Obangami Express, or our very own Security Force Assistance Brigade and Civil Affairs teams, we see the fruits of these critical efforts play out every day. The State Partnership Program, led by the North Dakota National Guard, and is the tag here? Outstanding. Just celebrated 20 years of partnership in 2024. This long-standing collaboration is a testament to the strength and resilience of U.S. and Ghanaian forces working side by side to confront our shared challenges. Ghana's been a leader for a long time in regional security and an exporter of peace beyond its borders. The Chief of Army Staff spent most of his career in UN peacekeeping operations and just returned from Sudan. Our long-standing partnership with Ghana is based on our shared democratic values and our shared history. And the professionalism of Ghana's armed forces and subordination to civilian governance are a model for the rest of Africa and beyond. They showcase for the world that democracy strengthens stability, and we don't have to choose between one or the other. We deeply appreciate Ghana's role as a top contributor to United peacekeeping operations, demonstrated by over 2,700 Ghanaian military and police personnel deployed to UN operations in the Middle East and Africa, contributions that promote stability and peace in some of the most volatile regions in the world. Here in Africa, the contributions of all the armed forces are critical in safeguarding global trade routes and maritime security. The United States and all of Africa have a vested interest in ensuring the free flow of commerce through vital sea lanes encircling this vast continent. And both democracy and prosperity are buttressed, or indeed lay on a foundation of security that you work to build. Our agenda over the next few days is ambitious. We're here to optimize our land forces capabilities, to foster interoperability, and to build the crisis response capacities needed to secure security and stability.
Well, I have this powerful video that is coming next, but before then, let's quickly take a few comments. Someone said, Ghana will help Nigeria tackle its terrorists, but they will always say, come on, Ghana, of course. Ghana is a superpower, and whatever thing she does it right. Someone said, I think such international meeting needs to be held at peaceful country in Ghana because participants needs to be protected at all costs. I agree. It's a moving conference. America has hosted this before, also Botswana, South Africa, Rwanda, and others. I believe one day this will be held in Nigeria, hopefully, if Nigeria work more on their security. Let's listen to this young man. He shared a lot of things about military having base, US military having base in Ghana, and it's more like, well, watch this video.
In Ghana, we have allowed the United States of America to establish its military base on our soil. Under the agreement which allows the US to establish this military base, our head of state is stopped from entering that territory. The U.S. military base is not accessible even to the head of state. As if that was not enough, in the agreement, we have committed to an arrangement under which if U.S. soldiers come to Ghana and kill Ghanaians, Ghanaians cannot go to court to ask for redress. We have committed ourselves to an arrangement under which property destroyed by U.S. soldiers in Ghana, if your property is destroyed by U.S. soldiers in Ghana, you cannot go to court. We have given our frequencies for the use of the U.S. military for free. Our frequencies are given to the U.S. forces for free. When Ghanaians have to pay millions in order to get frequencies to establish radio stations and television stations and so on, the U.S. can take it for free. Excuse me. Under the agreement, U.S. soldiers entering Ghana are not subject to inspection. They are not subject to search. You can't search them. You can't look through their bags. You can't examine what is on their body. And when they leave, they are also not subject to customs inspection. They cannot be searched. U.S. soldiers do not need passports to enter Ghana. They don't need passports to enter Ghana. All they need is their ID cards. Under these circumstances, we have given U.S. soldiers privileges way and above diplomats. Because even the American ambassador needs a passport to enter Ghana. A U.S. soldier does not need a passport to enter Ghana. In any case, what are these soldiers doing on our continent? What are they doing on our continent? Our leaders must ask themselves some interesting questions. Of course, they say that there's a global village, whatever that means, but they say that there's a global village. If this is a global village as they define, then everybody has interest everywhere. Now, if we decided to station a battalion of the U.S., of the Ghanaian army in Washington, what would happen? Now, if the U.S. would not allow us to station a battalion in Washington, why do we then allow them to station a battalion on our soil? Ab initio, this arrangement means that we have accepted that we are inferior. And that is one of the reasons why we need to wake up and dismantle these arrangements in order to establish our equality and so on.
Just like one of the comments said that the reason why they think they had to do the meeting, bring the meeting down to Ghana is because of course, they're talking about the security. US wants to know how to strengthen ties, work more on their security because, of course, US is not really secured. They really want to, know how Ghanaians have actually maintained that second most secured country in the whole of Africa. So they wanted to know, because you can never mention Ghana without mentioning security, without mentioning peace, without mentioning unity. So Ghana is actually the right place to hold such, international meeting. And of course, being the fact that is where they can do that in Africa without, being scared of terrorists, bandits, and all that, criminal activities. Of course, Nigeria isn't safe for that, right? So, but I still don't understand reasons why a lot of Ghanaians are actually scared and they are calling on the military especially US military, to exit Ghana. They don't want any trouble. They don't want any wars. They don't want any crime. They just basically doesn't want to work with the United States, right? So I'm actually making this video to ask a lot of knowledgeable Ghanaians, people that are already conversant with the news things, the trends and all that, why are lots of Ghanaians displeased? Like, it's displeased. It's not just one person. Most of them are actually speaking from, place. They were like, see, we don't want that. Please let them take their energy somewhere else. They just kind of felt like, having them in Ghana isn't safe. But I'm still trying to wrap my hands around it, because Nigerians would actually be very happy and grateful if such meeting takes hold in Nigeria, because it's putting you on a map, right? It's a plus for me, but I can't speak for some Ghanaians. So this is why I'm making the video, for you guys to tell me in the comments why a lot of people aren't just having it. They don't just want that. They don't want that in Ghana. But for me, I kind of think that it is a plus, right? And if Nigeria could work more on their security, because if we claim to be giants of Africa, then we should be able to hold such meeting in Nigeria, right? At least people should consider giants. But then it is all going to Ghana. Is it safe to say that Ghanaians are now the giants of Africa? Even though they have actually made it clear that they are not there for the giants, they are gateways to Africa, and you can never achieve anything without passing through that gate. It's beginning to make sense now, right? So let me know what you guys think in the comments. For me, it's a plus and it's a big win, because I kind of think that it takes a country that is secure to hold such important meetings. So most Ghanaians were still, asking why Ghana, why not in other countries? It is because Ghana is the right place for such gathering. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm going to rest it here. Super congratulations to Ghana, because for me, this is a big win. And also, if this is your first time here, please do not make your last. Smash subscribe button to be part of this great community. I would like to have you here. And I will see you guys soon in my next one. Stay happy, be kind, and be blessed. Bye, guys.